Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another Level Up with Aaron video. Today I want to review some more update content. You guys had a bunch of questions for me after the first video I released yesterday or this morning, so I wanted to touch on some of those questions and then also talk a little bit more in depth about some of the gameplay aspect changes with this upcoming update. That way you guys will kind of have some ideas going in right off the bat about maybe some techniques, etc. So the first question everybody's asking so far has been in regarding to Poseidon: is he OP or is he not OP? Well, right now the short answer is we'll have to wait and see. But I'm going to upgrade some of his abilities here to be a little bit more accurate, but we're going to have to see it in action and then utilize what techniques are utilized by some of the top end players. So, they're going to be the ones that are going to show us whether he's really OP or not OP based on abilities. And then he might be OP for certain levels of gameplay, like low levels. Maybe if you have a juiced up Kraken, maybe the Kraken's going to be too OP and is going to destroy half the base. I know that was a concern, in the initial testing of him, was that they didn't want him to be too OP for low levels, but at the same token, he is a new god. You don't want him to come out and maybe get the bad reputation like Zeus had. So it's a delicate balance between being OP and being underpowered. So hopefully, and in this case, I think it is a little bit better to err on the side of a little more OP, and then they can always roll that back if it's out of hand. So as you can see, I did already upgrade his abilities. His Kraken actually is level 70, which it's 160,000 damage. It is maxed out Kraken, but for level 100 plus, you're not going to see too many people with that level, but you'll see them close, maybe in the 60 plus range. And the damage, it still scales the same, just like it does every other level. So from level 60 to level 70 isn't a huge increase. It's just like the increase, incrementally from 50 to 60, I believe. So just keep that in mind. I haven't really got a chance to test out his alliance powers to see how those little guys work, so I can't really give you a lot of feedback regarding them. But hopefully they're pretty cool. I mean, you can tell when we look at the monument, anyways. You can tell that, let's say, their speed is a little bit faster than some of the other units. So their unit speed is 18. They also have a range, kind of like archers. So instead of being like Ares acolytes, they actually have a range on them, which is cool. They throw their little spears. So keep that in mind too. I know people were saying, oh, they look like they're just a knockoff of the Ares acolytes, but that's not really the case. They are ranged, so they're similar but not. So let me compare here. So they do have an 18 foot speed versus an 18 foot speed, but the range will be a difference. Let me look at some of the other melee troops here for speed. Yeah, so you can see the Monument to Athena troops are 16, and so are the academies. And then let's look at the Vengeance Warriors as well, just for comparison. Okay, so these three monuments all have fast troops, and they are some of the most effective troop building monuments. So hopefully they'll be fun. And I know a lot of people were asking for acolytes to be buffed, kind of like they were in the old day, when no matter how many people are assisting, you can release up to two. And they definitely did sway the battles. If there was a bunch of defenders and they were all dropping those little red guys, it got pretty out of hand. But anyways, yeah, we'll have to really, of course, get the game going, and before we can really start analyzing its effects on the majority. I'm sure, like I said, for some demographics or segments of the game players like level 60 and under, maybe Haiti, maybe Poseidon is a little bit OP, but everyone will adapt. We'll figure out, and then he'll get nerfed if he's a little out of control. So let me go ahead and do a few attacks. I'm gonna go ahead and revenge. Shout out to Kia. Sorry I missed your stream earlier today, but I know she was doing some attacks live, so pretty cool. I'm gonna do a revenge on her OP base here, and I'm gonna get smacked down. It is not only is it well, she's pretty high level. It's a pretty base too. I mean, you've got to give it to her. Like, just look at it, and she's really done a nice job of decorating around the Poseidon monument here. So for gameplay techniques with Poseidon, I think he can be both a burst style god and he can be a slow push style god. Um, with the burst, of course, I can see him being used multiple ways. So I can see him being used as a base popper. So in the sense that, okay, he drops in instead of long shotting, with Artemis to get a hole in the base. You drop Poseidon, you pop his Kraken, and then you let the tentacles pop holes in various spots throughout the base. After they pop those holes, then maybe you've got a good spot where you can drop in and do your Hera bomb explode. I don't even have the right lineup to demonstrate it for you, but that's one way of how Poseidon can be used in a burst style. He can create the hole and then for your other gods to go in and take it out. And then you can save Artemis for your last one or two temples where she can kind of do a patrol and either long shot or she can do a kind of hybrid. You can slow push with her. So that's one way Poseidon can be used. I'm going to go ahead and end this one. That's too much for me and I had a bad lineup anyways. Or you can use Poseidon in your burst with your gods, like right off the bat. So say we take out Artemis here, and we leave him in the beginning, and he's one of our gods walking around with our first three or four melee gods. A lot of people start off to do their tank and burst style. So say this isn't really a great strategy I'm executing on this. I think actually experimenting with it, that the tidal wave will be the better ability for burst than the water blast. The water blast does do a lot of damage on targets, but the tidal wave seems like it's pretty insane as far as taking out stuff from a range. Let me just So if you're right next to it, obviously, ideally, you want to be right next to your temples when you pop that ability with that tidal wave. If you've got it decently high leveled, um, it's going to take out temples, especially if you're not taking out blue or blue's already down. Then the other temples are going to be a lot squishier for you. Oh, I wanted to burst it one more time. And there's the Kraken. He's still wreaking havoc on here. So this base obviously is pretty well cleared out. And I could even drop Hera in the beginning with the other gods and really make them. Wow, I didn't really kill anything with that, but really make them, take a big chunk of the base. Because if you combo Poseidon with Hera, with the slow time inspiration, you're gonna really tear bases up. I think in the beginning. So that'll be an interesting style to watch and see how that develops. With Poseidon on the defensive aspect, I also think that his temple is a very interesting temple. I love the ability. I love the bubble shield idea. You know what? I'm actually going to attack myself because I had a couple questions. Everybody was asking me about the bubbles and how exactly they work. So I'm going to go ahead and do a couple quick experiments so you guys can see how it works. And I'm going to do, like, one question was, can you use these houses to prevent charming of buildings? One of the play styles is to charm holes into bases using Aphrodite, and if these bubbles stop the charm ability, then that'll be a huge impact on that style, because you can put these barracks that were getting charmed and then making holes in the large bases. You can make them uncharmable, and then therefore those holes that were being exposed by charming the barracks won't be there. So people will have to make adjustments. I'm gonna go ahead and spar myself here. I'm going to demonstrate what I'm wanting to demonstrate right here is the ability to charm a building that has a bubble on it. Okay, well there we go. And you can see it pops the bubble. So it is still a viable um, option to charm your way into the base. I know there was discussion over possibly whether it was charmable or not charmable, but that might be something that could change. Maybe if people think one way or another, yes, it's a good idea, or no, it's not a good idea as far as the bubble blocking charm as well. We can get some feedback and comments from players regarding that. And let's see if I can pull out these little spear guys. There they are right there so you can see them in action. Okay, that's cool. Look at that. They shoot little tiny spray guns, like kind of like the water cannon that Poseidon shoots. So that's pretty awesome. So yeah, those guys will be fun to play with. I'm hoping obviously the assist troops, I imagine, are going to be doing the same thing. So I can just kind of envision, uh, people walking around the base and having a bunch of these little fishmen just laser bombing them. That'll water blasting them. That'll be fun. So pretty cool. Let me see what off the top of my head if I can remember some of the other questions people have regarding Poseidon. Yeah, of course, his cost was a big discussion. How much is Poseidon going to cost, and when is he going to be available? He's going to be available at level 90, and his cost will be 144 million gold. So start saving up if you haven't already saved up. And then his Kraken power, this is just off memory, but I'm pretty sure it was half the price of his unlock power. So I believe to unlock the Kraken, you're probably looking at 72 million. So just to give you an idea, I mean, obviously, if you're unlocking him for your sixth or seventh or eighth god, then you're going to pay whatever cost those are for that particular level of god. As far as your lineup goes. So lower level players will obviously be able to buy him for a lot less money than the people that already have eight gods are going to be paying the price tag of the 144 plus the 72. But once you get up high above level 90, generating that much loot actually isn't that time consuming. And then with the challenges that are released, weekly, that we've had these event challenges, those are awesome. If you have those are an awesome way to boost rewards. If you're not boosting gem rewards on those challenges, I highly recommend it. They're by far and away the best use of gems in the game. So definitely take advantage of that if you're not already doing it. It's worth buying, pretty much any of the gem packs just so you can boost for those event challenges. If you don't boost for anything, or if you don't use gems for anything else, use them for that. That's the number one most efficient use of that resource in the game. I also missed out touching on the gem pack offers. So there's going to be daily offers. So a lot of players have been asking for this. So it's pretty exciting that they put that daily offer pack in there. They're going to range in price. I imagine all the way, from either, I don't know, $1.99 maybe for the lowest pack, all the way up to maybe 99.99. But they're going to be daily offers, so that way everybody can jump on those and take advantage of those packs. And then I still haven't got confirmation in regards to whether there's going to be a Poseidon release day pack for special pack. I know a lot of people want it, so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, hopefully it's out there. And then of course I know everybody wants to get Poseidon as soon as they can. Day one when he's out, everybody's gonna want him. Definitely gonna be fun to play with and fun to build your base around too defensively. These environmental changes, I think will definitely make a significant impact on defense as well. Beyond the fact that Poseidon is adding his cool ability of the shield. I think if you combine, obviously if you start combining all of these things together, like shield plus, let me go ahead and switch this over to Athena environment, for example, and you can make some really interesting, in this case, maybe some really resilient temples. So like just take this for example. I went ahead and put the shield on level 40 health, level 40 temple Athena, as well as having, I don't have it's fully surrounded by houses, but you can just see in order to take down this one building, you're looking at you having to do 350,000 damage. So pretty gnarly. And imagine if, this temple maybe is, take for example, put it in the center of your base, and then you got it juiced up like this. Good luck trying to chew through that. It'll definitely be a challenge for players. Let me see how much the house health goes up with that too. Okay, so the house health goes up, just like anything, it's going up with the 20% environment boost. So that's an additional 5% onto the baseline 25% of the level 15 house. So every little bit counts, it all adds up. So, it'll be really interesting and see how creative themes people get with these new changes to the environments, as well as the addition of the Poseidon Temple and its abilities, and the houses too. I think it'd be really fun. You know, you don't want to get too crazy with any house. That's usually a bad idea, just to go crazy with any one style house. But it'd be kind of cool just to see, pretty much every large building in your base with a bubble shield around it. I got to imagine that. Right off the top of my head, obviously, I can. You want to put shields around your most important targets. So what if we take? Let me swap out like this White House here, and then I'm gonna put this one over here. And now I'm going to put this shield, a default, that's kind of cool. It automatically switched to the temple that it was touching. I'm going to switch it to the Athena Aphrodite monument here. So, for a key monument, that's a great way to add a nice chunk of change to keep it from being long shot easily. So look at that right off the bat. You add an 18,000 health shield onto it. So now, people aren't going to be able to just, hey, let me just long shot this monument. No, not until you take out that bubble. You're not going to be able to do it. So definitely cool. Let me know if you guys had any other questions. I might try to do another video again, just answering questions you guys had regarding Poseidon. Thanks for tuning in, and keep leveling up.